Hello grade 8 and welcome to this quick session, and we will be looking at what we call equations. Now this is very important because mathematics as a whole rests on what we are going to do in this particular series. Now the first thing I'd like us to see is what is an equation? What is the difference between an equation and an expression, so that we will be able to see. Now, if I have an expression could be x plus 8. That's an algebraic expression, no equal sign. 2x minus 3. That's an expression. So put those examples down. X over 2. That is an expression. So an expression is just an algebraic statement. These are all algebraic statements. But now, when it comes to an equation, in an equation, we are looking for the numerical value. We want the numerical value of variables. We want to know the number of a variable, whether it's 1, 0, -1, whichever number it is. So we are looking for the numerical values of variables is needed. Let's put it like that, is needed. All right, point 1. Point number 2, we need an equal sign between the left side and the right hand side. Between the left hand side, which is LHS, and the right hand side. Can we call that RHS? None of these sides should be empty. None of these sides should be empty. Please take note. There must always be a value or a variable either on the left hand side or on the right hand side. The sides should not be empty. Please take note. The sides should not be empty. Okay, so we're going to keep asking, is the left hand side empty? Is the right hand side empty? Conventionally, let's do this. Keep the variable on the left hand side. On the left hand side. This is it's just normal, okay? It's normal. That's what we mean by convention. So when I use the word convention, it means it's just normal, it's acceptable, you know? Look at what I mean. If I write x equals to 6 and 6 equals to x, they are both saying the same thing, but one looks more presentable than the other. So we want to keep it like that. X equals to 6. Take note of that. Okay. Number 4. In finding the value of the variable, we're going to take it little by little, step by step. We use the language solve. Solve for. So under an expression, I cannot say solve because there's no left hand side and there's no right hand side. But when it comes to an equation, we have a left hand side and a right hand side. So we will be solving for. That is, looking for the value. It's quite simple, but we need our foundation to be very solid. Very simple, but foundation needs to be okay. We're going to do just one of the steps today. In finding the value of the variable, we use the language solve for. Next point. To solve for a variable, we use reverse operations. We use reverse operation. I'll tell you what it means. So I have an operation and it's reverse. If I have an addition, the reverse is subtraction. If I have a subtraction, the reverse is addition. If I have a multiplication, the reverse is division. And if I have a division, the reverse is multiplication. So we are going to be using that today. But today we're only going to deal with the first two, addition and subtraction. All right, please let's write up the notes quickly. To solve for variable, we use reverse operation. So if I'm using an addition operation, the reverse would be a subtraction. If I have a subtraction operation, the reverse would be addition. If I have a multiplication, the reverse would be a division. And if I have a division, the reverse is going to be a multiplication. We can do this mentally, but we need to learn how to write things down. A few more seconds, or you can pause the video and write the notes. Then once you're done writing, you press play to go to the next slide, which is where I'll be teaching us how to. The how to. Okay. So today, let's look at addition and subtraction only. Addition and subtraction. By the way, I need to mention that, okay, since we're doing addition and subtraction, I'll let you see. When an operation changes sides, when an operation changes sides, that is from left-hand side to right-hand side, it is reversed. What do I mean? If I have an addition here and it changes sides, when it changes sides, actually crosses over the equal sign, then it becomes a negative. Okay, wait, remember what we have: a left-hand side and the right-hand side. So if I have a positive crossing over, then it becomes a negative. So let's do that. Put that arrow. If I have a negative on this side and it crosses over, it would become what? A positive. Same thing, if it moves from the right-hand side to the left-hand side, if it's a positive here and it's moving over here, it becomes a negative. And if it's a negative here and it's moving over here, then it becomes a positive. So this is what we are going to do today. Changing positives to negatives, changing negatives to positives when it crosses. I'll show you very basic examples and I'll give you 10 questions to do. And then we move on to the next one, which is going to be a build-up from this one. Examples. Like I said, it's something you can do mentally, but we are not going to mark your head in the exam. We're going to mark what you do. So, for example, look at this. X is a variable I want to use now. Plus 4 equals to 10. It's something we know. Right now, some of you know the answer already without even me, doing anything. You know it's 6. But We are saying there's a number mentally that you add to 4 to get 10. That number is 6, but we want to write it down mathematically. Now, we said keep the variable on the left-hand side. So, I have to find a way of getting rid of that positive. It's an addition, right? Good. I'm going to move it from the right-hand side, from the left-hand side, because I want the variable alone, and I'm going to move it over. So what am I left with? I'm left with just x. Now, remember, it's an addition. When it changes from the left-hand side to the right-hand side, what happens? When an operation changes side, it is reversed. So let's reverse it. Instead of positive 4, it becomes negative 4. And what is 10 minus 4? 6. Please, maths is about steps. Look at number 2. X minus 3 is equal to 8. I know you have an answer. No problem. You've got your answer. Not a problem. But I'm not going to mark your head in the exam. So I need you to write it down. Okay, what are we doing? It's a negative 3 minus subtraction there, right? What do? Let's move it over. What are we going to have? X equals to 8. The subtraction crosses over and becomes what? An addition. So what's our answer? 11. Simple. So do you see we are solving for? We now have a value of the variable. First one, we have a value 6. Second one, our variable value is 11. I hope it makes sense. I hope it makes sense to us. Okay, let's try a few more. Just giving you a few seconds to write. This is all we want to do today. We want to take it step by step. All right. Tomorrow is going to be a bit more where we're going to add 2 more variables and all of that. Okay, let's look at this. Number 3. Let's look at number 3. What if I have 8 plus x is equal to 20? Remember what I said. Let's try to keep the variable on the left-hand side. And I want to show you something here. I'm going to tell you something now. So let's move the 8. But the question I'm going to ask is, what is the sign in front of the 8? It's a positive sign. No one is going to tell you that. We must know that. So what do? We move that away over to the other side. And once it crosses the equal sign, what happens? It is reversed. So what do we have? 20 minus 8. And what is that? 20 minus 8 would give us what? 12. Number 4. Negative 3 equals to 4 plus x. Negative 3 equals to 4. And by the way, I forgot to mention, we need to make sure our variable remains positive all the time. Okay, variable should be positive all the time. I'll explain what I mean. Okay, let's look at this. Now, because we are beginners, do you notice that you're following the rules now, saying the positive x, we want it to be on the left-hand side. Then it's going to become a negative. I'll be dealing with a negative one tomorrow. But for now, this is what I will do. Since it's a positive here, I'm going to leave it. Okay? But I will then move my 4. What is that 4? It's a positive 4. I'm going to move it over and it's going to become what? A negative. So I'll have minus 3. This is where our integers again plays a big role. Minus 3 minus 4. Remember, you are adding 2 negatives together. You're owing someone 3 rand. You're owing someone 4 rand. How much are you owing? 7. So now, but check this. This is the beauty here. The left-hand side is equal to the right hand side. I can just change sides now because we're saying whatever I have on the left is exactly the same I have on the right. So this whole thing can be written as just swapping them without changing signs. The left hand side is exactly the same as the right hand side. So I can swap them. Remember, I did explain to you earlier on about that. Okay, let me look at another example. Look at this one, and I want to show you the difference between number 4 and number 5. So I'm going to ask you to pay attention. For my number 4, I saw that that one is a positive, so I'm leaving it there for now, and then at the end I just swap the sides. But look at this one. Do you notice the negative? It's a negative x. I want a positive. So look at what I'm going to do. I am going to move it because I want to make sure it's positive. So I'm going to move it over. When I move it over, the negative, remember, reverse becomes what? A positive x. Okay? There's a positive here. I'm going to do it in 2 steps first. I hope this makes sense. So my idea or my aim is to make sure that the negative variable is removed so that it becomes a positive variable. So I move it, negative x, over to this other side, it becomes a positive. But I want my variable to be on the left hand side, only the variable. So let's get rid of this positive 3. If we get rid of the positive, it becomes what? A negative, reversed operation. So what is x? X is equal to 5. Value of the variable. I hope it makes sense. 5 examples just to make sure that we are on board with the beginning. Then I would write down 10 questions for you. And then we'll mark in our next session and then add more content to it. So basically, let's go back to the rules. The left hand side is equal to the right hand side. We want our variables to have a positive value all the time. As much as possible, we want to keep the variables on the left hand side. Let's go over example number 1. Positive 4 here. We move it over and reverse it. Once you cross this, you must reverse. Negative 4. Done. Same thing here. It's negative 3. Once it crosses over the equal sign, it must be reversed. Positive 3, and that gives us 11. Number 3, we keep the x because it's positive. I have 8 here, positive 8, and move it over, it becomes a negative, and we're done. Number 4, my x is positive, so I'm leaving it there for now. But I can move this positive 4, and it becomes a negative, reversed. Minus 3 plus minus 4 would give us negative 7. Now here, conventionally we said we want the variable on the left, so I'm just swapping. Since the left-hand side is the same as the right-hand side. And number 5, interesting, I put a negative x here, but I want it to be positive. So, phew, it's now positive. Then the positive 3 goes over and becomes a negative. And that is what we want to look at today. I hope it makes sense. I'm going to give you a few questions to do. Very simple. Remember, mentally, yes, you can do it, but your head will not be marked. It is what you write in paper or on paper that will be marked. So here is just a few questions for us to work with, and that will be marked in our next session. Number 4, okay, let me put number 5. I want to see something. I'll give you a hint for number 5 for now. Hint. Move the negative x to the right hand side. But after, this is just for you to see something. We're going to change a few things or advance a few things by tomorrow. But for now, let's move it over so that it becomes positive. Okay. By the way, it's not only x. We could be looking for any other variable. So let's try to change it so that somebody would not be saying, but it's only x that is the missing variable. We're looking for p there. Let's change the variable. Let's look for p or b. And the last one, let's look for y. And that's it. 10 questions. Please, let's get these questions done. We will start by marking these 10 questions. This is addition and subtraction. Now, in the next one, we'll be looking at multiplication and division, and then expansion of brackets. Please, it is important that we understand how to do equations. This is not an expression. Here we are looking for the value of all of these variables. I hope this short session is quite clear enough, self-explanatory, and we will check when you do your activities. We will be marking together. Please don't forget, no side should be empty. There's always something on each side, on every line. Have a lovely day, grade 8, and I'll catch you in the next session. This is Crazy Physics, Bishop, saying goodbye. See you in lesson number 2.